As you can see, I've been a little bit busy. Not with the layout, that obviously already existed, but with wagons. Lots and lots of open wagons this time. But conversely, it was this layout that made me go down the route I have of paying a little bit more attention, not a massive amount, but a little bit more attention to wagons. Apologies for the terrible backlighting, there's a window behind it. Anyway, the thing with this layout, the mill, is that it is solely an exhibition layout. It's 5 foot by 18 inches, built to EM gauge to enter a competition to basically build a layout in that size, and it won. But the thing with this layout is that you are up close and personal with it. It's basically a shunting layout, and the thing with shunting layouts is that the wagons are in front of you for a long time. In other words, if you're not staring at the gigantic mill building which took me months on end to build, you're staring at wagons, up close and personal with the wagons. And as such, you want everything to be as close as possible to reality. It took me ages to paint the inside of those. So here we have a basic, well, I say basic, parkside kit for a 13-ton hopper wagon. And here's all the bits and bobs that come in the kit. Absolutely wonderful. Enables you to make the wagon as pictured on the box. And here's the tools you need to make it. However, here's the tools that I used to make them. As you can see, a few more and a few specialist ones there as well, including this, a temperature controlled soldering station. But why would you need that, you may well ask? Why would you need a soldering iron and all those bloody tools? All you're doing is making a little plastic kit. So here's two Parkside LNER 5-plank wagons. You can tell by the brake linkages. This one has the original plastic lever. This one has the metal one. Probably can't really tell, can you? Me neither, but I know. Now, I don't necessarily go crackers with brake levers on every wagon. Most of them have the plastic ones that come with them. But there's times when you sort of have to, really. You see, Parkside, bless them, and I suppose it's now Pico, use some questionable plastic at times, I'd say. So, at times, when you're trying to bend the brake lever round slightly, just so it fits better and matches reality a bit better, they snap. So what you end up doing is having to dig out mainly trains etches. As you can see, I've taken quite a bit off this one, and building up the levers. Now, the undergubbins in the Parkside kits is sufficient to make a good representation, but I like to have the crossbar in, and I like the crossbar attached to the brake levers, you probably can't see, and everything else, and also the linkages underneath. And that's where the etched brass, bits of wire and the soldering iron come in. And trust me, I don't like soldering, but if needs must. Now, this little beauty here, I actually found this in my stock box last night, just having a look what was there. And this one, I'm pretty sure, came from Dave Shakespeare of Tetley Mills Frame. When he unfortunately passed away, I was asked what to buy some of his wagons, and this one was heavily weathered, just about still in LMS livery. But the underframe was this Airfix abomination with the original Airfix wheels. Now, you might say there's nothing much wrong with that, but look, the brake lever is just moulded into the body. It's basic, Bye bye. The body though is lovely, so I stripped off the original paint and then dug into my box of spares, found some Parkside sole bars and clasp brakes and mainly trains etches. I did have to do a bit of fettling with the levers if I'm honest. And using Paul Bartlett's site I found a clasp brake variant. Ta-da! Unlike anything else I currently have. Here comes the pinchy bird. Wah, wah, wah. I've not just been looking at 5-plank open wagons though. I mean working on some others too, some of which have languished in the stock box for far too long. In one, we have a Slater's wooden-bodied hopper, which as we can see is getting ready for its undercoat. In two, we have a Red Panda steel-sided 1-plank wagon, fully painted, just waiting for decals to go on, which I haven't really got, so I'm going to have to use HMRS ones, which is going to take forever. In three, we have a Parkside shock van, roof still to paint, and obviously it's in need of weathering, dire need, and as you can see here, the decal didn't really work, so I had to paint it in white. Looks scruffy, but you won't notice when it's weathered, hopefully. And in four, finally, we have an Airfix 16-tonner, which has been worked on a bit. It's had the ridiculous hinges removed and new ones fabricated, top doors replaced, and other things. Happy days. Ongoing maintenance here. This existing wagon, which wasn't built specifically for the mill, didn't want to go through the single slip that well. So just checking the gauge, and it's slightly out. Was slightly out. Gibson wheels for everything on the layout. We actually built it with quite close tolerances, so Romfords won't go through. In hindsight, a wonderful thing. And when I say I got a bit of a thing for wagons, I'm not kidding. This is about 75%, no. This is about 50% of the collection, because my rather long rake of 21-ton hoppers, all in EM, is out on loan at the moment. And you'll notice, no brake vans. Them and a lot of other stuff is upstairs, and I couldn't be bothered to get them out because they're not in trays. Here's the stock boxes for the mill. You can tell that because the majority of them have got AJ couplings. Told you it's for the mill. Something gives it away. And yep, really useful storage boxes. And I made the trays myself out of foam board with obviously bubble wrap, and the little gaps there have stopped the AJs getting knackered in transit. Now what you will notice is the majority are kit builds. I just really enjoy building kits. We all have our crosses to bear. I do have some coaches as well, but not interested really. I like freight. Night time now, so as a finale, here we go, the mill. There was a lot on this layout that took a lot of time and effort. The coal drops, them being one of them, made out of plastic card. The retaining wall too. Wheels, but try and spot the joins. Anyway, that was just a journey into wagons. Next time, probably won't be about wagons. We'll have to see, won't we? Bye bye.